Well, hello and welcome to The Spirit's Sake. My name is Rob. Thank you very much indeed for joining me. Now, I thought I'd do a bourbon because I know you like bourbon reviews. They tend to do quite well. And this is a bottle that I have walked past so many times. I've meant to buy it, and it's just, for years I've wanted this bottle, and I never got round to buying it until now. It is the Booker's Bourbon. There we go, a cask strength bourbon from Jim Beam. It comes in this very overpackaged box, this wooden box with a little perspex front, and they've done their very best to make this look old, haven't they, with this old writing. And one thing that's quite good about this is it's kind of spring loaded in here, so you just pull it like this and the bottle pops out. It's got this little plastic clip inside that has a bit of force to it, and then when you just pull the bottle out, it pops out. Quite nice, quite a thoughtful thing. Obviously overpackaged, like a few of the Jim Beam products are. This one is bottled at 63.2% ABV, which is 126.4 proof. The age is 6 years and 4 months exactly, and the batch number is 2020-01E. I'll just show you that. And it had a wax seal at the top, which came off quite nicely, not like the stuff from Michel Couvreur that I had to chip away at with a knife. So nice overpackaged bourbon. How much did I pay? I bought this in Alberta. Can't remember what I paid for it, but in BC it goes about 100 Canadian, which is more than I'm used to paying for bourbon, to be honest. It had a huge price increase. When I was first looking at it, it was maybe 70, and then just overnight the price just rocketed. And it obviously the price edges up, because that's what things do in BC. The price of everything goes up $1 every time someone sneezes. But I think it stayed around the $100 mark. I may have paid 80 or 85 or something. Yeah, this I've walked past it for years, and I figured now was the time to go for it. On the nose, intense, high alcohol note, because 63.2% ABV for a 6-year-old whiskey, a lot of woodiness, a lot of intense oakiness, resinous notes, and just almost wooden shavings, a dry woodiness. Dusty oak, a lot of spice there. Cough candy. Intense, dry spices, cloves. It really tingles in the nose. Quite strong peppermint, cough syrup, fresh mint, creosote, nutmeg, lemongrass. Vanilla. There's not a lot of sweetness, but there's maybe a little bit of apricot jam. It's just very woody, dusty, herbal, menthol notes coming through, and not a lot of the sweetness. Maybe some butterscotch and tobacco-y notes, but the spice and the alcohol notes and the woodiness is winning over any kind of sweetness that's in there. I don't know what the mash bill is on this, by the way. Ooh. 63%. Not going to be a shrinking violet, but it is drinkable. Intensely spicy, quite dry, some stone fruits coming through, lots of ginger and nutmeg. Has a nice bitter edge to it with some lemongrass, red chili, intense oakiness, dry oakiness, pepper, and later there's a little bit of sweeter brown sugar. But it has a big alcohol kick to it. I think we'd better add some water, given the high ABV. Give it 1.5, shall we? Teaspoons. So yeah, very, very intense. Drinkable. A few more sugars starting to come through. Still a punchy dry oak. And those dry herbal and menthol notes. Gin bitters, very woody. Herbal, vanilla. Strong breath mint, menthol cough candy. Little bit more citrusy. Grapefruit rind maybe. It's trying now to be a little bit more sweet with a bit more brown sugar, maple syrup, menthols. But the menthols, the dryness sort of cuts all of the sweetness that you might get. A bit of slightly perfumed bouquet type notes starting to come through. And quite a lot of orange when you add some water, which wasn't there before. I find adding water sort of tones it down a little bit, but I don't get a big transformation with adding water. Nice spices, some cloves, pickling type spices. Much easier to palate with a little bit of water. Dark chocolate, some raw kind of cocoa, citrus, pink grapefruit, very pleasant sourness, bitterness as it moves on to the finish. Some red chili, just lots of spices. As it moves on to the finish, there's the brown sugars are starting to come out. The spices, menthol, toasted oak, dryish, sort of shaved oak, ground nutmeg, ginger, and a pleasant bitterness. So I'm not a bourbon expert. There are lots and lots of them out there on YouTube. I have done bottles from maybe 20 odd countries, bottles of whiskey from 20 odd countries. I've done a few bourbons, mostly Scotch. But this, I think, is quite a good one. I think there's a lot there that would scare away the absolute beginner. I would not buy this as the first bourbon. And at full strength, it is quite, it's still kind of drinkable when you consider the ABV, but I do prefer it with a little bit of water. Very glad that I picked for this, very glad that I bought it. Not sure it's worth 100 Canadian, but if you're buying it at US prices and you want that big bold flavour, then I think it's probably well worth at least trying. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the review and hope to see you again soon. Cheers.